So, to start your home learning, I've actually given you a little bit of a quick start. You should have this template here and a piece of cartridge paper. You need a pencil and a ruler and a window. Now, the reason for that is because what I want you to do is I want you to trace. Now, this can be a little bit tricky, so you can either rest it down, and then what I want you to do, pushing as light as you can, I want you to trace everything here, which means your hand can hold the paper and some really nice straight lines. Also, another good tip, if you have any at home, a little bit of tape or a little bit of blue tack will do a really good job. And all you need to do is just trace all of the lines going this way and also down. I'm not going to do all of it because I'm pretty sure you can do it yourself. Is when it comes to doing your circle, what I would like you to do is you've really got to push really lightly with your lines, otherwise it's tricky to rub out. I want you to just follow the circle as best you can so that it's copied. And I want you to trace everything, and then I can show you what to do next. Today we're going to be looking at op art. Now, that is optical illusion art, and it is the art that makes our eyes go a little bit funny, but also make it look like either things are popping out from the paper or like things are moving, just like Bridget Riley or like the excellent op artist and illusion painter and drawer Escher. So what we're going to do now is, hopefully you have done stage one, which is to trace your grid and your circle here. What's going to be really important is that you don't push too hard. Now what we're going to do here is just neaten up this circle, and we're also going to rub out the lines on the inside of that circle there, because what we're going to do is we're going to create this to make it look like this circle is actually popping out. So it almost looks like half a sphere is coming out of our page, and the way that we're going to do that is using monochrome. So we're just using black and white, again very much like our op artists Escher and Bridget Riley. So what we're going to do is we're going to rub out those. You can see them faintly, which means I have been pushing too hard. So make sure that you don't push too hard, as I would have said in the introduction there. So we've now got our circle. What you're going to do is actually you're going to need to just keep this middle one here. Keep that one in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to bend the line from here to here, but you're going to slightly bend it, okay? You're going to slightly bend it this way, and once you've got past the middle, you're going to bend it this way. It's going to make it look like a sphere. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to almost curve it. Now, I've got my materials here, which I'm going to talk to you about in a little while. But make sure your arm is comfortable and you can move your whole hand. Remember, we can do this fabulous movement with our elbow here. And we're just going to curve that right round so that it meets that line again. You're just curving it around. Now, if you push really lightly, you can just go over it. Try not to do these little cat whiskers. Oh, who's that on the phone? Somebody wanting to make sure that I've got a lovely cup of tea while I'm doing my work. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same again and just curve that round to meet that there. Just going to neaten off that as well. And I want you to do the other side. Do the other side. So we're going to curve it round to meet that line at the bottom as well. You can see that I'm doing this. This is good sketching, good practice to making your own lines. So Just neaten it up, rub out any lines you don't think are necessary, and you're going to get your lovely lines. And again, from here back to here. Now this is a little unclear, so I just need to make sure. There we go. Making our curved lines there. Now what we're going to do, because of course a circle doesn't have a front and a back, I'm actually going to turn it, and we're going to do the same this way. So we're going to have our line down the middle, like this, and then we're going to curve again. So where our line meets our circle, we're going to curve it and try and meet it there. You can see I'm using my whole shoulder, my whole body, and we're going to rub out any lines that we don't need. It's excellent practice to try and draw curved lines, straight lines, without the need for using any kind of ruler or compass. If you find it easier, I'm right-handed, if you find it easier, you can also turn it round, and I actually find it easier this way, and left-handed this way. So move your paper around to suit your hand so that you're not cramped or you're not doing these horrible whiskery lines. You're best just to make this lovely shape with your shoulder. It's quite natural to us to make these curves, and once you start practicing, you'll really realise. Did you see there, I just changed it slightly because I found that my curve was just that little bit too much. I'm trying to aim in between where my lines were, you see. Okay, so it's looking pretty good now. It's looking like it's curving actually. Making them just a little bit smaller. What about any lines you don't need? We're going to pen these in, so don't worry too much about any lines that you don't want there, because we're going to use pen in a little while. So what we're going to do is now is the fun part. What we're going to get cracking with is we're going to use black and white to make this look like it's popping out at us. And the way that you're going to do that is by each individual diagonal square or shape that we've created, we're going to fill in black. So here I've got a Sharpie, I've got a Posca pen, I've also just got a normal felt tip. If you don't have any of these at home, don't worry. I'm sure that you could even use a biro, like a ballpoint pen. Got one of those here. I've got a 6B, which most of you should have. You can use pencil and push really hard. I've got a simple colouring pencil here. Or what will be quite tricky is if you really have to, you can use oil pastel. The only problem is with this is that it isn't quite as neat as you need to be getting in those lines. So my choice of pen, I think today, is going to be my Sharpie, just because I can know that I can get some straight lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this one and this one, the ones that I have just made here like this, and then that little bit in the corner. Now, when your circle meets a square on the outside, what I'd like you to do is leave a small white line. Let me show you. Just like that. And then you continue with your diagonals. Like a checkerboard here. Just filling those in. If you want to, you can also, when you've done outlines, if you've got a bigger pen, you can always fill it in quicker. Now, once you've done that with everyone, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put crosses in the ones that I want you to do, and then I'm going to speed this up. And the one lovely thing about doing colouring is that your mind really does wander. It takes you away from the screen, takes you away from any worries that you might have had in the day. It also is just a really lovely thing to do, to just sit and just fill in. Put some music on, relax, and just do your best colouring in of those shapes. So as you can see here, can you see I've just left that white line? That's really going to help pop our sphere out of our page. So, as you can see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just show you which ones I would like you to fill in. So if you're going diagonally, you're going to need to fill this one in here, this part and this part, this one, this one, this bit and this bit, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this, and this, and then this one and this one. And we're going to miss one, so we're going to go here too. And here. This one's going to stay white. Let me think. This one. This one. And there we have it. Oh, I've missed one. There you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on with this, as if by magic, and I will come back when it is complete. As you can see, this is now starting to make your eyes really wibbly wobbly. Now to just make it pop just that little bit more, you can see here, this is where it is that you can use a 6B pencil or even a HB to shade the bottom of your ball. Now, this can be a little bit tricky, so persevere. So you go all the way along the bottom of the ball. Use the side of the pencil. Remember your shoulder is that curve. And you should start to see the shadow of the ball. Now this is when you can get smudgy. So, unless you push lighter, of course, you can do that too, but smudge around. Remember that technique of always following the shape. Follow that shape and then round it off. And also, if you need to, if it's not looking, you can always just add in some parts there. And then also underneath, obviously, where your shadow would be. So you push harder. going to come down onto your page. Give that a nice shadow here. Smudgy, smudgy. Always going to be darker nearest the ball. Remember leaving that white space. Now, the best part of this, to make it really pop out, is adding white here. As you know, when we add light, we can add white. Now, I'm going to experiment with using a pencil here, or what you could do is, oh no, my oil pastel's got dirty, is you're adding in that kind of shine that would happen on your, in the black there. Make sure that's really bright white. And you want to kind of get it onto here a little bit as well. And hopefully you will be able to get that shadow in. Is start to see you don't have any shadow on the top, remember? Make sure all your lines are really nicely done. And hopefully your op art far away should look awesome. Now, don't worry if you make any mistakes or it's not, it is really, really tricky. So don't worry, just see what you can do with your pencil and see if you can add in that shadow to just make it look that little bit more like a sphere popping out at you. And there you have it, your sphere. Enjoy.